Hello everyone, my name is Binks and welcome back to Let's Play Great Ace Attorney 2 Resolve. We're continuing in the fourth case of the game, and the last episode was great because we got to spend a lot of time with our darling Kazuma-sama. It was glorious, glorious. Got to talk to him, got to get some info about what happened to him all that time that he was missing, presumed dead. Oh man, a lot of agree to disagree over Von Zeke's being the Reaper. A lot of cute moments there. Yeah, but that was pretty good. So now we are finally about to go and speak to the coroner, who, I mean, based on the location, looking the way it looks, uh, I think I know who this is gonna be. We didn't know this person's name before when we briefly saw them once and they almost killed Ryunosuke. I think it's the creepy little girl who I think is the daughter of Dr. Scythe. So she has a different last name, but I mean, maybe she has her father's last name, so I don't know actually, because no, her mom's maiden name was Stevens. Then she became Scythe. So how would she be Gory? I don't know. I thought it'd be her, but now I'm second guessing because now I'm like, wait a second, that's strange. Because I mean, she seemed to have training. She seemed to have the knowledge that her mom had, but she's also kind of a psycho because she wanted to cut up Ryunosuke, who was still alive. And she looked very young, but we know age doesn't matter in this universe. I don't know. Why would her last name be so different? Eh, whatever. November 2nd, Forensics Laboratory. Oh, Iris is suddenly with us again. How? What? Where did you go? I feel like I did not know you were still with us because you had disappeared. Oh, okay. This place really is creepy, isn't it?
Well, being a dead room, it's probably full of the spirits of the dissected. But actually, there is a rather pleasing scent of roses in the air. Well, being a dead room, the coroner probably needs a bold scent like that to mask the odor of death.
Iris, do you think we could change the subject? Uh-oh. Oh no. Are they sharpening a scalpel or something? Oh, what was that? Oh, it has to be her, right? I don't know. Did they create a new character? I mean, it would be weird if they didn't reuse her, right? I think that is her. I think her hair was like, I don't remember. Uh, Dr. Gory? Yeah. Oh, we gonna die, y'all. Rip. At least we got to see Kazuma before we died. Oh my god. No! She's going to kill us! Why? Why is she allowed to do this? Why? Why are you always wearing this creepy mask? Stop! Crazy, creepy girl. I forgot what voice I gave you. Something crazy, unhinged.
What?
That noise before?
I was sharpening my tools. I'd be dead, mate, if I didn't keep a perfectly clean edge on them.
Right.
When following the collagen fibers in the dermis, an expertly sharpened scalpel cuts like cheese. Would you like a demonstration? Oh yes, please. I'd love to see. Then I think you'll do nicely.
No, I wouldn't do nicely at all. Please stop trying to kill me. I mean, maybe some other time. Ryunosuke, no, don't offer another time. At least she asked before trying to murder him.
Was that a tut? Well, we came here to ask questions, so...
Psycho! Run! Run, run, run as fast as you can. Can we look around? Is she gonna kill us?
A table and a set of sharp tools. When you consider each in isolation, it all looks quite innocent. So why is it that when you put them side by side, they seem so horribly disturbing?
Okay, we saw this before. Oh, okay.
That's Mama's dissection table. It's too high for me, though. It is. If I fell from that height in my sleep, it would really hurt.
What? You mean you sleep in here?
Autopsy work is very involved. It's usually too late to think about going home when I'm finished. But I have bad dreams when I sleep here, and I always end up falling onto the floor. So I'd like to exchange that table for a lower one. Maybe you should just go home.
Okay. Crazy girl. Alright. Anything new? Because now that we're talking to her.
Those large jars seem to have pale things floating around.
Fruit liquors, so it's pretty much the same that they said before. Yeah, let's just assume it's completely innocent.
Ah, that jar you're looking at there contains monkey brains.
Oh my.
The composition is similar to the human brain, so they make for interesting study material. And in the next jar along, we have monkey... No more monkey anythings. Please. If you say so.
Oh dear. Time when I still thought it was just some pickled umeboshi plums seems so long ago already. Alright. All the bottles in the cabinets, chemicals, highly toxic, and then there, I think, what was it, salt and pepper and stuff? Yeah. Oh yes, they actually say salt and pepper. She probably has her meals, okay. Oh, nothing new there. Well, if there is nothing new, then they shouldn't make it look like there is. Oh, but these are new.
This looks different to before.
Of course, Mr. Neruhodo. Miss Gory is a young maiden. She has all sorts of charming little dolls and the like around her place of work. Look.
Oh, yes, you're right. Perhaps she's not so strange after all.
You sure about that?
They're how I practice. Sorry? Mama always says that operations in dissections require speed and accuracy. So I take out my needle and thread and stitch 3 needles every day. Right. I used to make livers or kidneys or intestines, but Mama told me to make something more friendly instead.
Ah. That's quite different to what I'd imagined. Okay. Some of these are cute, though. I would actually buy some of these. Nothing like the book situation from before, right? So I'm trying to be thorough and careful. Okay, then the only thing I see... That looks like an owl and a crow up there. Haven't even twitched because they're taxidermied. Yeah. Okay, he's freaked out. Okay, that was the same. It's Beatrice. What's up, Beatrice? You have a new owner over here. Magnificent display case. Yeah, we're totally gonna ignore the fact that Beatrice is there. Love that. Talking about that. Oh!
It's 10 people.
Pardon?
It's made from the bones of 10 different people, all mixed together.
Can't you tell that I was ignoring the fact that there's a skeleton in there?
Some of my best work.
I was admiring the case, actually. The scary skeleton inside is something I intend to ignore as best I can.
You're strange.
Really? I mean... really? I wonder who is the strangest. Alright. Let's talk to this crazy girl. Doing her voice is killing my throat, but it's fun to give her a really high-pitched, manic tone. Time of death. We have actually met before. I'm a lawyer, if you remember.
You're not dead yet.
What?
So Mama said I wasn't to cut you open. She's so strict about things like that.
Well, good. Dr. Sithe has some scruples, at least.
Oh dear. It looks like she's not interested in talking to us. For the time being, anyway.
For the time being? You mean until we die? I hope that's a way off. Sorry, but I wasn't planning on dying anytime soon. So disappointed. Surely there's some less drastic way of making her listen. Present something? Actual autopsy? To get her to talk? Dr. Gory, we actually came here to ask you about this.
He was very good.
Good? Sorry?
His skin didn't snag my blade once. And very little mess. His joints dislocated easily, and his muscle tissue was a pleasure to work with.
We can skip those details. But there is one thing about the report that's caught my attention. You don't seem to have recorded a time of death. Oh. She looks surprised. Oh. We get to see her face. Okay. I'm trying to remember what her mother looks like. I'm sure she's not in here. I mean, she does look like her, because I know that was her hair color. No, she's not in here. She's 19, the daughter of Dr. Sithe, who's also a coroner like her mother. She carries out all the autopsy work on corpses till she's 19. She's cute. Cute and creepy. Gothic Lolita type. Popina and Fabian are younger than I thought they were. 26 and 25. Huh. You don't know how old Venus is. Gosh, Cosmo. Okay, stop thirsting over Cosmo things.
That's not my fault.
Oh, that made me jump.
Then please, tell us what happened.
Her face is kind of creepy too, even though it's cute. She's pretty, but she's creepy. Alright. So, why doesn't this autopsy report include the victim's time of death then? That's really the most crucial detail.
I was told not to write it.
What? By whom?
Male Strongheart, the Lord Chief Justice, he came here.
Lord Strongheart came? You son of a... Oh, he's totally a bad guy.
He said that from the witness statements about the gunshot and the other evidence, it was obvious. The man clearly died at 5 p.m. on 1st of November when the gunshot was heard.
But that's not the time of death you wrote on the report. You didn't write anything. Was there some reason you didn't include it? Dr. Corey, if you're hiding something under Lord Strongheart's instructions, then sooner or later you're going to go the same way as your mother. Oh. I mean, you're probably going to piss her off, but you're also having to threaten her because you know this corruption is really bad. But at least he's being upfront, you know? He's like, listen, I know you're under pressure from a big bad guy, but do you really want to end up like your mom? Going down, concealing the truth?
Give it here, then.
Hmm? What's she scribbling so furiously?
There.
You've written...
What she's written? Tell us.
Indeterminate.
But...
According to the coroner, Dr. Gorey, an accurate estimation of the time of death is not possible. Oh. What do you mean by that? Why was the time of death indeterminate?
When the specimen was brought in, it was still fresh. So the time of death could easily have coincided with when the gunshot was heard. But there was one small discrepancy.
What discrepancy?
There was some fried fish in the pocket of the specimen's overcoat.
Oh, his beloved fish and chips. Okay, okay.
And that fish had started to rot.
Uh-huh. What?
If the victim liked fried fish, he presumably liked to eat it before it went off.
Well, yes. What are you really trying to say?
It's possible that someone tried to manipulate the apparent time of death.
Manipulate the... Is that even possible to do?
Theoretically, if you were to chill the body in ice, you could delay the onset of putrefaction. And if the overcoat wasn't on the body at the time,
Then only the fish would have started to rot.
with today's science, it's not yet possible to determine if the body was chilled or not.
But today's science is advanced enough to let you freeze a corpse, it seems. But surely, to chill a corpse like that would require an enormous electrical refrigerator. And I don't imagine many households in London are equipped with such a device.
No, definitely not. But maybe in a factory? Or some other special places?
I don't recall seeing any factories or such like on Fresno Street, though. The trunk! Yes. He was carried back and forth in the trunk. I just bit my tongue. Ow. Doing all these accents makes me move my mouth in a weird way. I wonder if the inspector's body had been chilled somehow. What might the actual time of death have been?
I couldn't say for sure. But at the most, it might have been a day earlier.
No. In other words, it would corroborate your previous deduction, Mr. Naruhodo. That Inspector Gregson was killed the day before his body was discovered, at a different location. Did you inform Lord Strongheart of this possibility?
He simply said that there was no electrical refrigerators of that size in the vicinity. If you don't mind, then.
Sorry. Okay. She's gone back to sharpening her blades.
Not now, or my baby here might start to rust. I think perhaps we'd better leave Dr. Gory alone.
Maybe we could try again later if we manage to find some more clues. Oh, so we're gonna have to come back, huh? Alright. She seems immersed in her work. I think perhaps now is not the time. Alright. Is it finally time that I have to go talk to the victim? I mean, Mr. Vigil. Do we have to go back to Fresno Street? Alright, I think you could go here, maybe. And then maybe Fresno Street. I hope I'm not doing this out of order. I don't know if I was supposed to do this. I mean, it seemed like we couldn't go to him first. Because I think she had said something before and I don't remember what it was. Then it kind of opened up like I could go to him, but I didn't feel ready. I was like, I don't know. I hope this is not something I should have like finished everything else first before coming here. But I really don't know. November 2nd, St. Sinners Hospital, Ward 3.
This is the ward where Mr. Vigil was brought, apparently.
To be frank, I'm a little worried about seeing him again. Yeah. Oh, this poor man. What voice did I do for you? Kind of like a depressed, because you don't have the fake lip anymore. Oh, is this a new song? How many songs do they have in this game? I don't remember this one. Oh, the lawyer. Hello again.
Are you feeling better now, Mr. Vigil?
Has your wife shown up yet? Your beautiful wife?
Yes, thank you. Somewhat better. I'm so sorry to have caused you to... I mean, it was because of me. If I hadn't exposed your secret and forced you to remember things you'd obviously tried to forget.
Yikes. I mean... this poor guy. Just yikes. Just yikes all around. I think you really, really need treatment though. Like, therapy and a lot of love and comfort from your wife is what you really need, sir. Let her love you.
The prosecutor was here until a few moments ago too. You just missed him. Oh, Kazuma beat us to it. He said much the same as you. He was very apologetic. But the truth is, I brought all this upon myself. Please, don't think like that.
Why do you always do these strange motions with your hands and arms? Like, it looks so weird.
Keeping it from Evie, my wife, all these years. I've carried such a sense of guilt. But that's not the worst of it. Over time, I obviously came to deceive myself as well.
You mean about your dismissal?
Looking back now, I'm beginning to think that perhaps Inspector Gregson didn't stumble across me by accident at all.
Yeah, at first I thought he was helping you out like a bro, but now I'm seeing that he actually used you. Oh, Gregson, you were an a-hole after all. No! That's sad.
I mean, he compensated me so generously for acting as his stand-in. He was clearly concerned for my well-being and doing what he could to help.
So perhaps Gregson knew exactly what had become of Mr. Vigil all along, then.
I'm sure this is just desserts for 10 years of lies and deception, but it wasn't me that helped the professor escape 10 years ago. It wasn't me. I swear it. I swear it's true.
Oh, Mr. Vigil. I'm sure you'd rather not dredge up even more from your past at this time, but if possible, could you tell us exactly what really happened?
I want to. I need to get all this off my chest. I just want someone to tell me what I should have done.
Man. Yikes. You poor man. Let me just check really quick. Oh yeah, we still can look over here. Somebody has crutches. Huh.
Oh, look, a pair of crutches. Before we came to Britain, I hadn't realized they were used here as well.
I imagine they were imported into Japan from Great Britain in the first place.
Oh, so no one in all of Japan broke a leg before their arrival? Anyway, the sight of these things doesn't bring back good memories for me.
Oh dear. Did you injure yourself once and need to use some?
When I was little, I thought they looked fun, so I borrowed a pair to play with. But then I slipped and sprained my ankle.
I see. Karma.
They contain powerful magic, those wooden staffs. The power to heal and the power to harm.
I think a certain cheeky little boy managed to cause the harm all by himself. Yep. That's cute. Ugh. At least I don't see the poison around anymore.
A lot of bottles in that cabinet aren't there? Think it's safe to keep them there?
If you were a patient here, I feel sure you'd take some by mistake. Okay, I think we said this before.
At least the cabinet has a lock, even if it's only a flimsy looking one.
Oh, I don't doubt you'd manage to unlock that somehow.
There are limits even to what I can do when I'm half asleep, you know, Mrs. Sato.
What powers do you think he has while he's half asleep? She seems to think strange things of him. Okay.
Ah, patient treatment notes. What did he say, I wonder?
HIPAA violation. Don't look at that.
Endlessly obliging. I suppose that's referring to the patient in this bed.
I would think so. And until Mr. Vigil is a little more stable, it's probably just as well that he has a kindly person in the neighboring bed.
The endlessly part is a little worrying, though, isn't it? I mean, what if Mr. Vigil suddenly declared that he'd like to take a trip out of the window?
Oh no! Ryunosuke, no! Why are you making like a kind of joke about it? Even if you're not really joking, it's like... Bro. Damn. You remind me of past me, except worse, because you have the knowledge of what happened.
Would this endlessly obliging patient simply open it for him and say, "Be my guest"?
Yes, give him a death stare. Like, why are you doing this? Let's check with the doctor later. Even though it is a valid concern, but like, damn.
There are all sorts of medicines in this cabinet. I'm not sure if it's safe.
Yes, you're right. I can imagine if you were peckish, you might try some. Okay, girl. And I imagine that would stop you if you were hungry. Yeah.
Hunger doesn't turn me into a criminal.
Ha ha ha. Okay, we've had this conversation before, so why are you guys making it so like...
This notice caught my eye before, actually.
I suppose it's some sort of slogan for the ward? A cheerful welcome message, perhaps?
Let's see. Pay with good cheer, leave with good cheer.
No. Well, of course, typical hospital and healthcare, right? All about the money. Ugh, I hate being a part of that system.
Well, look at that. You were spot on, Miss Susato. It's full of cheer.
I wonder how many discharged patients pay their medical bills with good cheer, though. 0. Once I had to have a very painful injection when I fell ill with a cold. I felt awful already, so why did I have to suffer the sting of the injection as well as the bill? I yelled at the doctor. He does have to get paid for his services, but it's like the high amounts. Oof, don't get me started.
Oh dear, what terrible treatment.
Okay. Patient treatment notes. Oh no, stop! What? Not even trying to blockade or lock the window? Tendency to jump from windows. Remember to place cushion at base of wall outside. Are you guys crazy? What the frick? Oh my gosh. Why are they handling this so lightheartedly? They're worse than... You know what? My jokes before about throwing people out windows, I was not intending to kill, and it was a joke, and it was not like this. It was not like this. Y'all are worse because, you know, his was mental, you know, depression, what he went through. Oh, no. Why? Aren't we a story up from the ground here?
Oh dear, poor Mr. Vigil.
Can't help feeling that there's a better solution to the problem than a cushion, though. Yeah, exactly. Lock the windows, blockade, whatever you gotta do. Finding something you'd lost isn't always a happy experience, it turns out. Pursuing the truth can be a very dark business sometimes, can't it?
Yes, I'm afraid it can.
Wow. I'm just shocked by how lightly they're treating all of this. Okay, well, there's nothing else to really look at, so I guess that's it.
Inspector Gregson was obviously engaged in a special operation of some sort. He was investigating something that even Scotland Yard couldn't know about. Details of the Reaper's marks, yes. It was when he had to carry out these investigations that I would take his identification and impersonate him.
You'd pretend to be the inspector and carry out investigations on his behalf.
Oh, no, never! A common street peddler couldn't possibly carry out a proper police investigation. All I would do is go to the specified location and make a little hoo-ha.
Hoo-ha?
Just something to leave an impression, so everyone there would think a detective called Gregson was here.
Yeah, about leaving an alibi, right? Like what Iris said.
So that's what you were doing on the day prior to the incident?
Yes, he asked me to make an appearance at the park on Lime Street for the Red-Headed League event. So as usual, I flashed the inspector's identification around and was very vocal about my presence.
But then you were taken prisoner.
I didn't even know you were here. Like, why are you so quiet sometimes? It's very strange to me.
But then you were taken prisoner by those red-headed fraudsters.
Yes,
So, you would always make a point of showing Gregson's identification and generally being loud?
that's what the inspector asked me to do. Yes.
Well, that's one way of becoming a legendary detective, I suppose. Not a good one, though.
And as you know, I suffered this bruising around my neck at their hands. But the following day they kept their word and released me.
Without returning the inspector's identification to you, however.
We had arranged to meet in the Fresno Street room at 5 that day, so I could report back to the inspector. But at the agreed time, that's when I heard the gunshot.
Okay.
It was at midnight on 17th June, 10 years ago. That was the time scheduled for the execution.
But the professor's execution never actually took place, did it?
Or rather, the execution itself must have been used to effect the plan of escape. I hardly dare to imagine what a chilling plan it was.
Barclay was renowned for being the highest security prison in the country. Everything that went in or out of the place was searched multiple times. But there was one notable exception. Or rather, one notable loophole. Something that was never questioned.
I have a feeling I know what that loophole was now. The coffins into which the bodies of the executed convicts were placed, correct?
Yes. Once the coroner had confirmed the death of a condemned convict, the body was taken in its coffin for immediate burial in Lowgate Cemetery just behind the prison. The chief warder first had to sign the necessary papers. And after that, no member of staff was permitted to touch the coffin containing the body again. When executions took place, only the executioner and the coroner were permitted inside the chamber. I would wait in the adjacent room for word that the condemned convict was dead. On that occasion, once I had the confirmation, I went into the mortuary to find a lone coffin, as usual. The procedure was that I would sign the paperwork having checked the coffin, then nail it shut.
Then yeah, he was totally framed. I mean, there's no way he would have known that there was someone alive in there.
But for some reason that day, the coffin was already nailed shut.
No!
I didn't think anything of it at the time. I assumed that my deputy must have checked the coffin and nailed it shut before I arrived.
So you mean the coffin contained...
Yes, I can only imagine that Isugi, having escaped his execution somehow, was alive inside the coffin. The coffin was then taken out through the main gates and deposited in Lowgate Cemetery.
Presumably, there wouldn't have been enough air inside to breathe for long.
So in the early hours following the burial, somebody dug up the coffin again to set Genshin free.
But in the end, he was fatally shot in the graveyard anyway. What on earth really happened in Lowgate Cemetery that night, I wonder?
So somebody was trying to save him?
I'm afraid I really don't know. All I can say with certainty are two things. Sogi couldn't possibly have escaped that way without help from somebody working in the prison. And that somebody was not me.
Oh, you poor guy. I'm suspicious of Barry, Caden. Alright, let's talk about Asogi.
Obviously, you knew the man then. The professor, I mean. Genshin Asogi. Yes, I remember him well, in fact. Would you mind telling us what you know? Well, having been condemned to death as he was, any contact I had with the man was short, obviously. After that trial, which was carried out behind closed doors, attended only by elite members of the judiciary, they called for his execution to be carried out at the earliest possible opportunity. The outcome of the trial was set from the beginning, wasn't it?
It was a time of delicate diplomacy, when Britain and Japan were in the process of signing an important treaty. That meant that this potentially destabilizing case had to be dealt with swiftly and discreetly.
The man had less than a week in total. As I was the chief warder, I oversaw his short stay in the cells until his final hour. I remember being struck deeply by his noble character and incredible resilience. What do you mean exactly? He was a killer of many men, but he was always quiet and polite. He was a gentleman and a man of intellect. In fact, I couldn't bring myself to believe what he'd done, so I asked him one day. There's 5 members of the aristocracy whose lives were taken. Are you really responsible?
Oh, we gotta voice Asogi, Genshin.
I'm guilty of the unforgivable crime of ending another human's life, yes. The following day, the closed trial took place, and the verdict was no surprise. Guilty. That night, when he was brought back to his cell, I saw something. Something unusual. Something unusual? What? The last will and testament of Genshin Asogi.
Oh? This is the first we're hearing of this. Okay.
As I said, it was on the night following his trial, after he'd been found guilty. I was doing the rounds of the cells, and when I looked into Asogi's, I noticed that he seemed to have a sheet of paper in his hand. Ah, his last will and testament then, presumably. As soon as he noticed me, he hurriedly shoved it behind his back.
But why did you find that so unusual? Isn't it normal for a man to pen a will when he knows his death is nigh?
Yes, that's true. But there were special conditions to Asogi's incarceration, you see. What sort of conditions? Well, even though he was held in a cell designed for condemned inmates, he was allowed to keep his personal effects with him, with one exception. Really? He was allowed his things? That is unusual, certainly. Of course, he'd been convicted of killing 5 members of the aristocracy. But at the same time, he was a guest in our country from the Empire of Japan. The powers that be were determined that his final days shouldn't be needlessly uncomfortable.
interesting. At least he wasn't tortured or anything.
And what was the exception you mentioned? To the personal effects he was allowed?
That's the point. He wasn't permitted to have writing materials. Specifically, no pens or paper.
So, he was prevented from leaving any written record of what had happened to him.
Yes, that was the long and the short of it. I've no idea where he obtained that paper.
Well, I guess whoever tried to save him did that, you know?
Any writing materials would have been confiscated from him upon his incarceration. As I said, he hid the paper behind his back and then he pleaded with me. What did you just hide behind your back? Please, please turn a blind eye. This is my lifeline. But you know it's against the rules. You're the only person who's seen. If you just agree to keep quiet. Alright then. But what's on that paper? A last will and testament. This will is the only weapon I have left now. How can a will be a weapon?
Because it must have the truth in there somehow. Because he knew something.
So I decided to pretend I'd seen nothing, and I let him keep his will. But then later, it just seemed to vanish without trace. What? What do you mean it vanished?
Did you tell this to Asogi? I mean, to Kazuma? Does he know? Because he would be determined to go look for this will then.
It would seem that is the end of the story of this mysterious will.
The will's disappearance.
I was the only person who saw Asugi's will, but somehow it disappeared. It was after Asugi's execution.
Which was actually an elaborate jailbreak.
The warders gathered up Asugi's possessions that were in his cell. They were all to be sent back to his family home in Japan, you see.
To poor Kazuma-sama.
And you're saying that it wasn't anywhere to be found among his personal effects? The will, I mean. That's right. Though I didn't search through them myself. But Governor Caden was livid. He was screaming. It cannot have disappeared completely.
So he knew?
See? That doesn't quite make sense though, does it?
In what way?
Well, we'd understood that only Mr. Vigil was aware of the will's existence.
Yeah. But how would Caden know? Well, I still think he was the one who was trying to help Asogi escape, but then it went wrong, and so he was desperately trying to find the will. He was desperately trying to find the will. Maybe to find proof of the truth or whatever. It's weird because from what I remember of Caden, he seemed like to hate the Japanese and blah blah blah. But then when we brought up Mikotoba, he softened and he was like okay with us, but I don't know, it feels like a front.
In which case, how did the prison governor know to look for it?
Oh yes, you're right. I really don't know how he knew, but it certainly seemed as though he knew of the will's existence from the outset. Only he didn't refer to it as a will. What he said was the Asogi Papers.
Oh?
The Asogi Papers. I really can't tell you anything of the subsequent events, Because, well, of what happened.
Yeah, you getting scapegoated and all that. You poor guy.
Your dismissal, and the way you blocked it all from your memory. I'd forgotten all this until today.
I don't suppose it's relevant to the case, though. Oh, it's relevant.
Well, anyway, thank you very much for sharing it with us, Mr. Vigil. We're very grateful.
Where's your wife? Come running in. Check on your husband.
I'm afraid there's really little more I can tell you. My wife Evie will be here shortly.
Oh, good.
So, I do hope I don't appear to be rude, but... No, not at all. Thank you again.
But what will become of you now?
Well, impersonating a police officer is a criminal offense, of course.
Oh,
I imagine that once I'm fully recovered, I shall be arrested.
but you were doing it because he told you to.
I'm so sorry. Don't be. Please, this was all my own doing. I always knew that this day would come. Well, I wish you well. Goodbye, Mr. Vigil.
He deserves help. Please don't prosecute this man. Ugh! Before you go, there's just one thing. Oh, okay.
Oh, yes? What is it?
You and your weird body positioning.
The Sogi papers. I'd be very grateful if you'd make no mention of the things I told you about them. Presumably for some good reason. It's my understanding that their very existence is a closely guarded secret. If it became known that I'd remembered, well, it could be rather troublesome, I think.
Yeah, your life could be at risk.
I understand. Some sort of will that Genshin Asogi penned just before his death, which the man himself claimed was his last weapon. I wonder, perhaps it had something to do with his plan to escape. If there's anyone who might know more about a document that Kazuma's father left behind.
It would be Mr. Vigil's governor. Then we know precisely where we must go. Back to Barclay Prison.
We know he didn't want to see us again, but oh well. Oh, this poor man.
Well, at least he seems to be on the mend.
You know, his disguise as Mr. Gossip was really quite masterful, wasn't it?
It was.
I can't remember anything about it except for the floppy lip.
I imagine not even his wife would have recognized him.
Perhaps. Did he really have to take it quite so far?
He seemed like an entirely different person completely.
I feel a strange connection with this place, knowing it's where Father studied all those years ago.
Alright, we need to go back to Fresno Street, but we also... I need to go talk to Van Zeeks really quick. Is he there? Yeah. Just because I think before I lose my chance, you guys had to present something. Was it the red hair piece? I'm trying to remember. Hopefully I'm right.
What's that? It's just something I was hoping to ask your opinion about, that's all.
It's a serious crime for the defense to attempt to extract information from the prosecution by illegal means.
I think we have more of a defense and client relationship now, don't we?
Oh. Was I... Is it the Redhead League article? I can't remember. Okay, let's see.
It's not for me.
That's not why I was showing you it.
What?
I suppose if it was a black-headed league, you would have no hesitation.
What? What kind of conversation is this?
None whatsoever.
Sadly, my own hair could no more be described as black as it could red.
What color is this? Like a grayish purple? Sometimes these colors are like a slate? I guess? What's with this? He's doing his dramatic pose. Yes, you tell me what color league. Why are we... is this a serious conversation we're having right now, Van Zeeks? Okay, I see why you told me to present this, because this is ridiculous.
What colored league should I join? Should I then join?
People are troubled by the most unexpected problems at these times. That's it? Okay. Well, you know, I really can't tell. So it depends on the lighting. It looks gray. I mean, I don't know, man. You do you. All right. Let's move and then end the episode. So, where are we going? The governor's office, right? Oh, yeah. That's good that we're ending the episode so I don't have to voice him right now because my throat's like, ugh. So, alright. That's it. I've done enough. It's only gonna be 2 episodes this week. I just don't have the time or energy. I mean, unless a miracle happens during the week that I have time to record before Friday. But I don't see that happening with the way things have been. So anyway, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope you enjoyed this. Next episode, you be prepared. You know I'm gonna be doing the horrible Scottish accent for this dude. And hopefully we'll get down to business about this missing will. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this, and until next time, have a nice day. Bye-bye.